awful. No! Relax. Enjoy your salvation. God loves you. It cost him way too much to get you. He's not trying to get rid of you. But we have the attitude that, well, God, God is going to, he's this, that's all. No. You lose your intimacy, you lose your joy, because all of a sudden you're so fearful of approaching Father. When we lose our joy, it's one sign that we've been taken captive. That we have taken the bait of Satan. Our minds have not stayed focused on the Word and the goodness of God, but rather we started watching circumstances, we started watching trials, we started watching the tribulations. Instead of watching the promises, we started watching the waves. That'll produce despair, grief, and depression. And all of a sudden we're going out trying to get happy pills just so we can survive. God has given you his joy. Now you do not have to stay in the storm of hopelessness. We do not have to allow what people say or think to control us. Because most times what you think they're saying or doing, they're not doing or thinking or saying about you anyway. Most times you're just not that important to them. Now I know that sucks. But really most other people are not sitting there watching you wondering what they can say about you that's going to get you down. You just don't matter that much to them. Now you matter to God that much, but not to them. So don't spend your time sitting there thinking or worrying or doing. You don't have to worry about those things. Don't allow what people think or say to control you. Control your reaction, we control our destiny. Now maybe everyone isn't going to be thrilled about you, but God is. See, not everybody was thrilled about Jesus either. In fact, he had a few that were little less than thrilled. Actually, had a few that wanted to actually get him killed. Well, actually, a few that did get him killed. See, not everybody was thrilled, saying, "Oh, great, the Son of God. This is good." No, they're going, "You're messing with our system, Jesus. You're going to, you tell people they can be free, and the next thing you know, they're going to quit following all our laws." Yep. You got it. But Jesus, how can you tell people they can be forgiven? What are we going to use to beat them on the head and tell them they have to do all these things? Nothing. They're going to have to want to do it now. I'm going to take that law and I'm going to write it in their hearts. And if it's in their hearts, then they're going to want to. And if they don't want to, there's really nothing you're going to do about it. Huh? But God, how am I going to manipulate and bully and get people? How am I going to? You can't. Because his law, the heart of stone was taken out. The heart of flesh was put in. And he wrote his law on the heart of man. And if his law is written on the heart of man, they're either going to want to or they don't. And if they want to, then bless the Lord. They'll be striking for that area. If they don't want to, there's nothing you're going to do. It's going to take the Spirit of God to draw them. Because if the Spirit of God doesn't draw them, no man can come to the Father. But that's so simple. Yeah, it is. It's simple, but it's very hard. Because now you got to get into a relationship with God. No, Moses, you go and talk to God. You tell us what he said. You know how many churches there are today that would like to have their Moses? Pastor, you go talk to God, and then you have God talk to you, and then God will tell you what you're supposed to tell me, and then you come and tell me, and then that way I don't have to get into a relationship with him. Doesn't work that way anymore. That was old covenant. In the new covenant, when that temple veil was ripped from top to bottom, it was ripped from the top to the bottom, saying, God says, I'm not living here anymore. Now I'm going to live in your hearts. I'm not living in this dry, dusty place that you carry around in the desert. I'm living in your heart now. Oh, that. Now you can't hide from me anymore. I will be your God and you will be my people. And all of a sudden the plan that God had for eternity came into effect. See, God had always wanted to live with his people. God wanted to fellowship. He wanted to walk with. He wanted to talk with. When Adam and Eve were first, the Bible says, in the cool of the day, he came and he walked and he talked with them. He wanted that fellowship. It was sin that stopped it. But God's plan was to get that fellowship back. This is my man. This is my people. These are my people, and I will be their God. We will have relationship. And it took 4,000 years. But guess what? God got his way. He hasn't changed. He still wants that same relationship today with his people. So we have focused on all the things we should do and shouldn't do. And God says, come, talk to me. Get to know me. Find out who I am. So maybe everybody isn't thrilled about you, but God is. You are who God created you to be, and God likes you just the way he made you. Yeah, but I wish somebody else did then too. Well, don't worry about somebody else. God likes you this way. Oh, I wish I could be taller or thinner or heavier. I wish I could be prettier or uglier. I wish I could be... Why? God wanted you. Well, I wish I were smarter. I wish I could think faster. I wish I could... No, God picked you the way you were, and he made you the way you were. And if he wanted you to look like somebody else, he could have made you to look like somebody else, but he didn't want you to look like somebody else. So what is the first thing that religion does? Okay, well, now that you know God, let us cut you into shape. Cut the hair, or grow it, depending whether you're male or female. Quit wearing this, start wearing that. Put this on, take that off. Look like this, dress like that. There, now God can accept you. God accepted him before he ever got there. And he loved him just that way. See, before I became a Christian, a lot of people didn't like me. But God did. And he said, hey, there he is, just the way I want him. Then when I became a Christian, all of a sudden people are trying to tell me now how I had to dress and how I had to look and what I should do and what I should do with my hair and how I shouldn't. Got rid of one problem. Showed them. Little tracts given to me on how I should quit smoking and how I should... Oh yeah, well, that was all good stuff, but guess what? God loved me that way. And because he loved me, I was able to continue pressing in, and I was able to come to a place where I was able to experience more of God. Did I change since that time? Oh, you bet I did. I wore things then you wouldn't catch me dead in today. Leave that. I wasn't the only one. You probably all did. And if you don't believe you did, look at your old pictures. Then ask how your mother let you out of the house looking like that. What was my mother thinking? The good news is we do not have to stay in the valley of despair and depression. We do not have to stay in the storms of hopelessness. We do not have to allow what people think or say to control us. We can control our actions, we can control our reactions, and we can control our destiny when we do. So maybe everybody isn't thrilled, but God is. You are who God created you to be. He likes you fine. He's thrilled about you. You are his prized possession. Have you ever thought of what it cost God to get you? His son. There was no price less that he could have paid to get you. He had to send his son to face death. And he was willing to pay it. And according to the teachings in the Bible, if you had been the only person alive, he still would have done it. Because he wanted a relationship. He's not trying to get rid of you. You were that pearl of great price where he sold everything to get. You were that treasure that was hid in the field that he was willing to give everything up to get. You are. You are the apple of his eye. You are his happy thought. Psalm 16 verse 11 says, Thou wilt show me the path of life. In thy presence is fullness of joy. At thy right hand there are pleasures forevermore. Where does joy come from? We tap into joy when we start hanging out with God. When we spend time in his presence,